Hello, my name's Julia Terry. I work at Swansea University. I'm delighted to show you our Deaf Awareness e-learning package. It was supported by the Burdett Trust for Nursing and Swansea University. It's in 3 parts, and I'm going to just show you through the package so you can see what it looks like. We developed it because we know that health professionals and health professional students have a lack of deaf awareness during their training. And so we have put this together with the full involvement of the deaf community across Wales. The course starts with an initial overview and tells people what the learning objectives are from the course, that they'll be learning about different types of deafness, deaf culture, barriers to communication. And during the Deaf Awareness course, people will learn how best to communicate with people who are deaf and to understand more about being hard of hearing. As students go through the course, there will be some initial quizzes just for fun and learning, and there will be a summative element at the end where they have to get all the questions right, 10 questions, to get the certificate. So let's show you the course. The course is a non-accredited course at the moment, and it sits on our Canvas platform, which is our student learning platform. There's a lot of different interactive videos, which will give students different types of informative experiences, and they will be able to see lots of statistics about people who are deaf in the UK, so people have good context at the very beginning of the course. So they can just see how many patients they are likely to encounter who are deaf or who are hard of hearing. There are elements which are interactive, where we ask students to type information in about their thoughts and feelings. And we also go on to talk about different types of deafness, so students really understand what may have instigated deafness in the first place, and also why we need to pay attention to communication and to speech. If you've not heard of it before, we talk about small d deaf and big D deaf, and we also talk about other elements in terms of what it's like to be deaf growing up, experiences in school settings and other educational places. There's information about hearing aids and how they work. And there are many elements to consider, because if you're deaf and you're a patient and you're going for a test in hospital, it's really important that you hear the instructions, and that needs to happen before people take their hearing aids out. So there are many different examples here for students to learn about. We've included a little information on loop systems and cochlear implants, with examples of what it actually sounds like to somebody who uses a cochlea. So we then talk about methods of communication with deaf people and different sign languages. We focus on British Sign Language, or BSL, because that's the main sign language used in the UK, and it's a whole language in itself with its own syntax and grammatical structure. And we finish section 1 with coders, children of deaf adults, and talk about their experiences. And from time to time during the e-learning package, there are actually links to feature-length films because they are so informative and helpful. At the end of section 1, there is a short quiz where students can have a try at the answers. If they get them wrong, then they simply are learning a little bit more about deafness. Section 2 moves on to everyday deaf experiences, and we then show information there about access issues particularly. We then talk about deaf people's experiences. And then we also move on to talk about hearing screening in Wales and why people may become deaf in the first place. We include a number of recent campaigns so that people learn lots more about the deaf world. And we've included information from our deaf charities. The Silent Child film is just 20 minutes, and it's an excellent example of what it's like to be a deaf child growing up in a hearing family, experiencing issues of isolation and language deprivation. We've also included famous deaf people like Rose Ayling-Ellis and her win on Strictly, with more comments for students to have interactive opportunities to put down their thoughts and feelings, so they really understand some of the daily barriers that deaf and hard of hearing people experience. And you can see another quiz here at the end of section 2. We come now to the final section, section 3, which is all about deaf and hard of hearing people in healthcare settings. And we have a number of short animations. We've tried to limit the videos to just 2 or 3 minutes to keep people's attention. And we get students to reflect on when they've met hard of hearing patients on placements or in their workplace. And when we've built this deaf awareness package, we connected with deaf clubs across Wales, and we asked for people if they were willing to film short videos to tell us a little bit more about their experiences. We've got some of their quotes here, and we've also got a number of short films with captions for people to watch. So there are examples of at least 20 people who are giving their examples of what works in health settings, as well as when they would like things to have improved. Now, one thing I know that you will be thinking is, during this deaf awareness course, how can you actually access it? At the moment, it is only for students who are enrolled onto it at Swansea University. And we are currently discussing how we can improve the course, how we can ensure more diversity, how we can get it translated into Welsh, and where it will finally sit. Also in section 3, we've included material about BSL interpreters, who are not there for deaf people, they are there for everybody, and how interpreters might be booked, and also to understand how best to work with a sign language interpreter. Really important that health staff know about how to do that. We remind people how the connections with the deaf awareness package link to proficiencies around communication. This example is for nursing, because this was a nursing funder who started the course at the beginning for us. But it's important that students can make links between themselves and their own professional register. There are some simple do's and don'ts there for people to read and to look at. And then we also include some basic BSL, like the alphabet, basic greetings, and some important medical terms and health signs as well, so that students would know, for example, signs like pain, bleeding, headache, tummy ache, sickness. We also include information about particular types of health conditions like cancer. There's a lip reading test. And as we come to the very end, there are some final summaries. And then we ask students to have their say. There's a congratulations for reaching the end of the course, and then they have to do their final assessment. We know that deaf awareness is best taught by deaf people face to face. With over 100,000 healthcare staff in Wales and over 9,000 health professional students, it's going to be impossible to get deaf tutors to come into classrooms to deliver that important training. So we have fully involved deaf people in developing this course. Our research assistant was deaf. We have had deaf consultants view the package in its early development, and we've been testing this out on a few hundred students with lots of positive feedback. As we move to the next phase, please join us. We want to roll this out across Wales. You can contact me at any time. My name's Julia Terry. That's j.terry@swansea.ac.uk. If you'd like to know any more about our plans for taking deaf awareness forward in Wales, please join us. We want everyone to be deaf aware. Thank you.